Okay, you're on.
Hi, my name is Zoe Stockmar, and this is Hybrid 6 group for the flight crash investigation.
I'm Cadet Donovan, and we did the assessment flight.
And I'm Cadet Buckner. As she said, we did the Cessna flight.
Okay, so a brief on the autopsy report of the pilot when found at the site. They were both had multiple fuel burns all over his body, and many different kinds of lacerations and injuries, which we'll get into more detail later.
So this is some of the aircraft information. The landing gear was retractable, and then the engines, and the max weight for it was 6,300 pounds. And then the registered owner was James E. White.
Some of the witness statements. We had this guy named John. John was driving when he saw the left wing on fire and followed it down Willow Creek Road. He said it was continuously losing altitude. Then we had this old man named Walter. And Walter was in his house when he saw the left wing also on fire. Under the wing, he watched the flame go out, but it made a sharp left turn towards the ground and then exploded.
The weather information for that day when the flight was happening, the temperature was 58 degrees Fahrenheit, dew point was 27, wind was 50 to 70, and the altimeter had been at 30.12, so it was pretty optimal weather that was going on.
The pilot information was, the pilot was Joe Martin, and he was 36 years old, and his certificates were commercial, and then that's his certification number.
Where are the pictures shown?
I didn't load.
Oh, okay. Well, there are pictures there. Plane's really big. It's the largest plane I think that was out there. Maybe I'm wrong, but it was a huge plane.
It's twin engine. We didn't say that.
How else would you describe it, do you think? We saw a couple pictures, but most of what we're going off of was in, lots of pieces.
Yeah, because the way it hit the ground.
Okay, so,
The abbreviations people might use was the 49Q, which was the Cessna, N6549Q, and then CD was the Prescott Clearance Delivery Position, the G was the Prescott Ground and Trainer, and then UNK is unknown.
this is for the, later on, we have the talking between the control tower and the pilot while the plane was going down and in flight. So that's the abbreviations of the people who's talking during what.
In conclusion, there was an electrical fire in the cockpit when the wind moved it to the left engine on the wing, and that's what crashed the plane. Plane hit tail first, and that's how the plane ended up so far apart when it crashed on the ground. And it was everywhere.
There's that. I want to get back to them.
And I'm going to take responsibility for this. I was responsible for the Word document, and I failed to put it on my Google Drive and share it. So we do not have that.
So is this the thing that wasn't completed? Yeah. Go back to this, exit this one. Go back to this. Okay, so, oh well. Mr. Person. Okay. I don't know why that happened. Okay, so we have a couple. We decided to present the information for the plane and what was going on during the flight and after the crash as people talking. So that was kind of what I did. So first we have the investigation officer, who is Buckner over here.
All right. Hello. My name is George Buckner, and I'm the lead investigation officer on this crash of the aircraft, the 1967 Cessna 401A. SN-401-0219. This plane was registered and owned by James E. White from Albuquerque, New Mexico. The pilot of this aircraft during the crash was late Joe Morton. Based on what we've gathered this far from our other investigators, an electrical-based fire was sparked and spread to the engine, causing internal combustion of the engine and the plane to crash.
Okay. So next, hello, my name is Zoe Stockmar, and I was working as air traffic manager and receiving transcription from the Cessna flight on the date of the crash. The plane was cleared for takeoff at 08:39:15 on June 12, 1996. By 08:40:05, Cessna was cleared to climb 13,500 feet. At 08:42:01, we received a mayday call from Cessna describing details of a lost wing. The pilot was encouraged to turn around and try to land, but they were too far out of the air. The next closest runway was closed due to construction. By 08:46, it was determined that the Cessna was going to crash. After 4 more personal messages lasting from 08:44:56 to 08:45:00, transcript ended and communication with Cessna was lost. Do you want to do this one? You do this one.
Yeah. Hello, my name is, this was supposed to be, someone in our group that's not here. Joe Martin, and I was the last person to pilot Cessna 401A. I took off and crashed on June 12, 1966 in Prescott, Arizona. My flight didn't last very long, and I was only in the air a short amount of time. I was first alerted that something went wrong and my engine began to burn off part of my wing. I made a call to the radio control, but I knew that with no solid places to land and the plane falling apart below me, I was going down. By the time I realized this, I had gone into a bit of a panic, as determined by the transcripts received. I knew that something was on fire, but I don't think I was too aware of just how bad it was until an unknown party joined into the transmission and described my ascent to the ground as a fireball. This was the last I heard before I went down. I was killed in the crash and my plane was completely destroyed.
Okay. The autopsy and forensic investigator for this flight was Romina Hollanden. I hope I didn't butcher that too bad. And this is what her report states, as put into our own words. Hello, I'm the lead forensic investigator and autopsy nurse. The subject in question was Joseph Morton. He was a 35-year-old male, certified with ample flight experience. Date of birth was January 1st, 1960. Okay. After a thorough investigation of his body, we discovered thermal and fuel burns covering 100% of the body area. Fractured areas include...
Did this have anything to do with the crash?
Kinda, because you can tell where it...
I mean, I appreciate this. We're going through all this detail. This is kind of morbid, and does this have anything to do with your findings, causes, and recommendations? Okay, so let's please skip that.
Okay. Well, the rest of that doesn't have much to do with that, so... And that's all we have because we didn't have the document for it.
I recommend that if you do have a plane that you get everything checked frequently, especially the electrical, because that can cause most of the damages, considering everything now is electrical.
So why did the plane crash?
An electrical fire started in the cockpit because it wasn't checked regularly, and it could have been in a different spot or got too hot or something like that.
Okay, so electrical fire in the cockpit caused the crash. So why was there electrical fire in the cockpit?
It didn't get checked too regularly.
What?
The plane.
Where did the fire start in the cockpit?
when I saw the pictures, it was like right in front of like the main pilot.
So like the radios?
That I did not determine. I just knew it was like right in front of the pilot area.
The fire started right behind the seat, sort of in the area below it.
She said in front of him. You're saying
Was it
behind
in front
him?
of it?
Yeah, because
It was in front of it?
Yeah, I remember that picture that was right there with all the burnt wires. That's where it started.
Okay, well then it started in front of the pilot. And
why did it start?
Probably the wires got too hot or close to a different wire and not where it's supposed to be.
the plane was very old and hadn't been flown for about 20 years or so.
What did the
so-
maintenance records reflect?
The main records? I do not know.
The maintenance. I mean, they
The,
keep a
ma-
maintenance.
the last maintenance records were from the 1960s and reflected that the plane was in fine condition, but it had been in storage since then.
Okay. So maybe a mouse.
That's what I was thinking,
ate
possibly.
something. I mean, it happens to cars, right, that are stored a long
Right.
time. So the person flew it without having a 100-hour checkup.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And so then that's your findings. And so then what's the cause is to do what? I mean, the recommendation is to do what? To not let this happen to somebody else.
If you have your plane sitting for a while, get it checked up, not
Okay.
just leave it sitting.
Sounds good. Anything else here?
No, sir.
All right, everybody give a round of applause, please. Give us some constructive criticism, please.
My name is Cadet Bedmender, and I really like the way your presentation was put together. And maybe next time you use less dramatic pauses than when you're speaking. But other than that, you Cadet Bedmender, I will take your critique into consideration and stop doing so much drama.
Next, Deb Blossberg.
Your presentation was good overall. I would just suggest before you present, make sure you shared everything so that you have your documents and stuff.
Once again, I will take your critique. Well, thank you, Cadet Volvera, I should start. And I will take your critique into consideration. Make sure that I share everything.
All right, anybody else on duty?
My name is Cadet Duty. I think your presentation was very nice, but the whole time I was sitting here, I didn't really feel like you guys were presenting. Felt like you were reading from a screen and not really like interacting with the audience. So my criticism would be to, instead of just read the screen and like look at your audience so we know that you are here. But other than that, I liked it. It was pretty nice.
Thank you, Cadet. Thank you, Cadet Duty. We will take your construction criticism into consideration for our next presentation.
Somebody else?
My name is Cadet Withers, and I enjoyed how your presentation was very fluent, but I didn't like how you used the word that many times.
Thank you, Cadet Withers. We will take your construction criticism into consideration.